For example, if we have the verb probieren or probieren, you can pronounce the two pronunciations. So, after searching for, we find in dictionaries that the meaning of this verb is try. And this is right. This is real meaning. There is no problem until here. But if we continue searching for, we find, for example, aufprobieren. When we search for, we find in this dictionary, for example, and this is from the famous dictionaries, Deutsch, English. Here the meaning is try on, like when you wear a clothes, a cloth or clothes. Here, when we search in this dictionary, also the meaning try on, try on. Here, there is no meaning. It asks you, do you mean ausprobieren? Because he didn't find aufprobieren. Okay, anyway, try on is the result. So we write it try on. Let us now search for anprobieren. It's another letters, so it must be another meaning. Look, anprobieren, try on. Also the same meaning for another word, for another verb. Try on. And this is a problem. How two different words have the same meaning. Here also, in the second dictionary, try on. Here, in the third dictionary, for you, try to search in all the dictionaries you know in the world. But we have no time here. But I give you the chance. Try in any dictionary you know. Here, anprobieren or anprobieren is also try on. Try something on. We write it try on. If we search for ausprobieren, let us see. Ausprobieren. Here, try out. Try out. There's no need to continue because try out is good translation, but not the ideal translation. We will see how is the ideal one. Try out. Good. Durchprobieren. Let us see. Here, try one after the other. Try one after the other. Okay, and here, try one after the other. Here, there is no translation. Okay. So, the result, try one after the other. But what about abprobieren? Here is license, approve. Here is license, here is approve, here there is not the same word but similar as adjective. Appropriate, qualified, certified. So certify, qualify, license, improve, like this. So we can write it approve or license or qualify. Any of these meanings will not solve the problem that we will talk about. Herumprobieren. Let us see. In this dictionary, there is no herumprobieren at all. In this dictionary, trial and error. Also not the same word, but composition. But okay, trial and error. It will not resolve the problem. Here, guesswork. Okay, we write it guesswork. What we notice now, many problems from the beginning. Here, try, it's good. Here, the problem that when you say aufprobieren is try on, The first problem is try on does not reflect the real meaning in details. Try on very short translation. This is one problem. We will see it in this video more clear. But this is not the only problem. The second problem is when we translate anprobieren here, we find it the same meanings. And it's very big problem. How can I realize the difference? How they give me the same meaning? So how can I know when must I use aufprobieren in a sentence and when I must use anprobieren in the sentence? If both of them are the same meaning. And this is not only for aufprobieren and anprobieren. This is only an example. This is the common case in translating in German language in these bad famous dictionaries. We come for ausprobieren. Ausprobieren, good translation, but not precisely. Durchprobieren, you will find there is very important details must be included in the translation and it's not here. In approbieren, if we say approve, license, qualify, anything you want. But also here, the third problem, that if we suppose that this translation is good translation, but there is a problem, how can I learn this word by heart easily? It's difficult here because there is no relation between approbieren and approve or license. If we say license or qualify, where's the relation between these two verbs? But we will look how you say, how you conclude a real translation that give you also at the same time a real relation between the verb and its translation. So you will see that we will put here at the end of this video the real translation is he tried it, he found it good, suitable, then he licensed it. So when we put he tried it, so try from probieren. Try probieren. There's relation now. And up to make the result license. But he at the first he made trials. Then he give him the approvement or the authorization or license. So with this translation there is relation, and when you have relation you can then learn it by heart easier. It's very clear. It's very clear rule in psychology. Also here you will find it's very short translation and it doesn't reflect the ideal meaning and many other problems. You know, these separable verbs, you know, sometimes this suffix can be attached to its verb and sometimes goes at the end of the sentence. Like here, ich probiere etwas an. I try something on. You can say that now. Before we continue the video and know more details about the translation. What does it mean? When we say or when we listen to German man, for example, the German man talks, maybe he says, ich probiere. Then he says the time, the place, the many details. At the end of all these lines, what will he say? We don't know. Will he put aus? So it will be ausprobieren. So it means, as we saw before. Or will he put an after all these lines? And when he puts an, it will be anprobieren. Anprobieren. So we don't know what will he put at the end of the paragraph. So when we don't know, and when they teach us that every verb of previous, every verb has or had its own meaning. There is no relation between probieren, ausprobieren, abprobieren, herumprobieren. There is no relation. In the best institutes around the world, they teach these verbs as separated verbs. So like abprobieren, license. What is the relation between license and aufprobieren, try on? They will teach you that there is no relation. When you learn that by this way, so when you learn by this way and hear the German people say ich probiere, you cannot translate you will not know what is the meaning. You cannot translate quickly. You will wait until he reaches the end of his statement to know if it is aus or an or another suffix. So when he says, the German man, for example, ich, you will translate very quickly and say in your heart, I. When he says ich, you will say quickly, I. Okay. But when he says probiere, you will not translate anything, because you don't know if there is a complement, if there is a suffix, or maybe there is not also. You don't know. You do not know how to translate. So you will wait until the end of the statement, and when you find it is up, for example, you will go back to the beginning and make attachment, connection, and now translate. Now you say I license, I qualify. Now, after what? After you heard all the statements, all the lines without understanding, and now you want to return back. But when you return back, at this time the German man continues talking. He will not stop for you. He will not stop for your sake. So you will not be at your life quick translator like in conferences or like this. So we don't know what is the end from the beginning, but I will give you the solution to know the translation from the beginning. You will not guess and say, maybe he wants to say I try out, or I license, or I try on. You will not guess. We will take from the last group these two verbs, anprobieren and its translation try on, and aufprobieren, and its translation try on also. We will not accept this silly translation since now. Anprobieren, which is try on. In Duden, you find it in another translation. Duden, as you know, is the most famous dictionary German at the world. The most licensed dictionary. So I rely always on Duden, but also Duden is not enough. I add my own special way to analyze. Now, anprobieren in Duden, you find the translation: etwas anziehen, zu sehen, ob es passt. It means in English to anziehen, to see. I mean, when you make this verb here, anziehen, what is the goal? To see whether it is appropriate or not. Why I didn't translate this verb? Because when you search for this verb in Duden, you find many different meanings. So also this translation is not enough, because he talks here, Duden, about anziehen in public meaning, in general meaning. So if I want to translate precisely, I must put this like this, because here there's many meanings for anziehen. But if I want to choose one meaning of the meanings of anziehen, like wearing clothes, okay, we can say then the translation for this sentence: to wear, to see whether it is appropriate or not. So now we will talk only for the meaning of wearing something on. Why I chose this meaning? Because it's very near to the translation in dictionaries, in bad dictionaries, in any dictionary who is not Duden. Any dictionary except Duden is bad. And Duden also needs some improvements. So I chose wear. This is wear, try on, wear, and here wear. Why I chose this meaning? Because I will show you, even the meaning is very near, there are many problems. So imagine the case when you have another meanings and far and very far of the meanings in dictionaries. So this, the near meaning to wear. Duden has an example, gives you an example to let you understand more precisely. Einen Anzug, Kleider, Schuhe anprobieren. It means to try a suit, clothes or shoes on. And here I conclude, this is my own research, not from Duden, it's my own researching to let this complex language very easy. I conclude here the meaning of facing, because when you put a clothes on your chest, for example, your shirt faces the mirror or the another man who looks at you. Facing. This is from anprobieren, anziehen, Anzug. Notice. Why Why? Because when Duden wants to describe this verb, he needs something because must be described in and here in the example also although it is here name, not a verb, but also so there is a relation, there is secret. This secret, only I who discovered this secret. The secret of is facing. We will see more clear after now. So this is the old translation, we must throw it. Why? Because also Duden gives you another meaning for anprobieren. Not only one meaning. This is also another problem. They make all the meanings in try-on only. Some verbs has maybe more than 12 meanings, different meanings. Okay. The second meaning of anprobieren in Duden: veranlassen, dass jemand etwas zur Probe anzieht. It means to cause someone to put something on, to see it, or to see if it fits. Then you notice, not only you try on, sometimes you let someone to try it on. The High Dictionary gives us an example. Der Schneider probierte ihm den Anzug an. It means the tailor arranged for him to try the suit on. So here, anprobieren, probierte an, anprobieren doesn't mean try on. It means arranging to try on. Arranging. This is the real meaning. This is the second meaning. So, in my way, after I discovered the secret of the suffix, of the suffixes, as we said at the beginning of this video, in the title of this video, the sameness of meanings of suffixes of separable verbs, the sameness of meaning. So here an always means facing. Wherever you go, whatever you face, verbs in German language, when you see an attached to any verb, to any word, it has the same meaning. Even it was or it is preposition, also the same meaning. So when I have concluded the secret of an, I can say the real translation of anprobieren is to wear something on his body or in his feet, or when I say on his body or in his feet, I mean not on his head, for example, on these places. And you can say also horizontally, like when you wear a coat, you rub it around you horizontally. This is an. This is an. We continue the definition. Or on another person. Now, why I say this on another person? To make the two meanings of anprobieren, the two meanings, arranging to try or try on, the two meanings in one complete simple meaning. So he maybe try something on his body or on another person body. This is the two meanings. Like coat or shoes, to see if it fits. And this is facing. Okay. We will see more clear. We said an always effacing. Effacing existence. Why facing existence? Because an is opposite to not existence. It's existence. Like electricity. When the electricity runs, it exists. It's the opposite of the case when electricity is off. So, an means existence and means facing. So, effacing existence. And now we will look if it is right or only imagination. We know when an is a preposition, we say, for example, das Bild hängt an der Wand. So why we said an der Wand, not in der Wand, not unter, not oben, not auf? Why? Because an makes facing the build or the picture faces the wall. It's not above the wall, it's not under the wall, it's not behind the wall, it's not in the wall. It faces the wall. They are parallel. This is when it is preposition. And I prove that always an has the same meaning, even with separable verbs. So here we know now what is the meaning of anprobieren. What is the relation? The shirt faces us here, as the picture faces the wall. There is a kind of facing. Also, in another verb like anlaufen, we will see when an comes with another verb, it has the same meaning, the same technique, Laufen, run, walk or run. It has many meanings, but let us say run. Anlaufen, what is the technique it gives? Ich werde gegen den Wind anlaufen. I will go against the wind. Here, why they used an? Because my body faces the wind. Because of an. Wir sollen gegen Vorurteile anlaufen. We should make steps against prejudices. We should make steps against prejudices. Why we used an here? Because we faces who has prejudices. We face them. We face him. This is the reason of an. Das Schiff läuft den Hafen an. The ship runs to be against the port. Why we use an here? Because the ship will face the port. Do you notice how I conclude? Here I put my philosophy, my conclusion that I discovered, the secret of suffixes that no one tells you around the world. Even the German teachers, even the original German people, because they don't know why they use it, how they learn it, because they had learned it since they were babies. Here also, the jowl swells. The tumor faces us as the picture faces the wall. This is why an. Also, the inflammation runs inside it, in contrast to being atrophied or atrophied. So this is like the electricity when it runs inside the lighting bulb, in contrast to being off. So it is facing and the on, not off, the existence, I mean. This is an. Also here, sein Gesicht war rot, angelaufen. It means his face became red. Why an here? Because it faces us. This is the first. Second, the blood runs like electricity to make the face red. Because when blood doesn't run, like the electricity when it doesn't run. Also here, the glass of window sweets. The glass of window sweats. Why an here? Because the glass faces us and changes from dry to wet, like electricity when changes from off to on, existence to not existence. Let us look at aufprobieren now. Aufprobieren, the wrong translation, try on. In Duden, we find the real translation, probeweise, aufsetzen. To put in a vertical way, as a trial. So there is a trial, and especially in vertical way. This is auf, vertical. So depending on that, here auf and there is on or an. Here auf and there is an. An facing or horizontally, auf vertically. So the final meaning of aufprobieren, to wear something vertically, on his head or his face to see if it fits. So when he puts a cap on his head, he put it vertically, not like a coat, horizontally. And when he puts glasses on his nose, he puts it vertically. So not everything try on, anprobieren, try on, aufprobieren, try on. It's not with this simplicity. This is very precise language, very high language. You can't deal with German language with this silly way. You must know the deep meaning to know when you use aufprobieren and anprobieren. Now you know when you put a cap, when you put a hat on your head, you use aufprobieren. When you put jacket, you use anprobieren. So here, because it's vertically, it's a kind of accumulation. And you will see this idea more clear. Here, the High Dictionary give us an example. Eine Mütze, eine neue Brille, aufprobieren. So, a hat, glasses, this is aufprobieren. Trying a cap or new glasses on. So, not a jacket with aufprobieren. So, we must cancel this short, wrong translation. Let us see if this real or an imagination. When we say the tourist boat, collided with the sandbank and climbed up it. So why we use auf in this sentence? Because the existence of the boat on the beach increases the height of the beach. How does it increase the height? Because before this boat climbs here, for example, a man can walk here and pass. But when this boat climbs here, no man can passes. He must go around this boat to complete his road and go to his home, for example. So the height of the beach now is increased. So it's accumulation. Auf is accumulation. Also here, this sentence in Deutsch means the car collided with the barriers and climbed up it. Also accumulation, because the tire is on the barriers, so it increases the height of barrier. Here, the veins bulged on his temples. So, why auf? Because the blood accumulated in the veins, then the veins bulged. This is accumulation. Here also, when you translate, you find the interests grow up to 150 euros. Why auf here? Accumulation, because the interests accumulated, then grow up. Here also, the water floated quickly, so the sheep sank. Why auf? Because the water accumulated, then grow up. Here, with the last step, she got the first group. Why auf? Because the existence of her on the podium is an accumulation. This is not only with anlaufen, with every verb, with every where. For example, aufbiegen. Auf, we said before, an accumulation. This accumulation, what does it do? It expands the area, increases the height or the area. The area in general, it is better than the height. So here aufbiegen, it expands the area between these two bars. So auf. Here, this cat, auf dem Tisch, on the table. It expands the area that relates to the table. Now, nobody can put his hand here because there is a cat. For example, the height of the table was 100 centimeter. Now the height with the cat is maybe 120 centimeter. Here, aufmachen, when you want to open the window. For example, when you open the window has two panes. So when the window has two panes, when it's closed, the two panes are beside each other. But when the window opens, the distance, the area between these two panes will be expanded. This aufmachen, and this is the reason why auf. The same with aufprobieren, as we said, because the glasses on the nose increases the area of the nose, the height. Also, aufhängen, to hang something on something, because auf, on. Aufkleben, to paste something has a thickness on something. Maybe you say kleben means to paste something on something. But auf, I tell you, why? Because of the thickness. Because if you write something on something without thickness, there will not be expanding the height. But here, expanding the height because of the thickness. So this is auf. Aufschreiben, to write a medication name for the patient to buy from the pharmacy. Why auf? Auf also, when you talk about directions, it means vertically, that you write vertically. It means you don't write on the wall. For example, you write towards the ground. You write on the table, on the book, like this. So, when a doctor writes a medication name, will he write it on the wall? Or sure, he will write it on a paper vertically. So, sometimes the meaning is very clear that auf is accumulation, and sometimes you must conclude it like this, the last example. It's a kind of implement. Now, look at the difference between this new translation and what we found in dictionaries together. And this is here horizontally or facing. Here is vertically. Here you wear something on your body by facing, or you wear or put this clothes on another person but also facing, and here you put something vertically. There is a difference, not anprobieren try on and aufprobieren try on and the matter ended. No, there is details, and this is only if we talk about the meaning of anprobieren which relates to clothes. But as we said, anprobieren has a lot of meanings. Doesn't relate to try on. And aufprobieren has many meanings. Doesn't relate to try on. But if we take only the meaning which relates to clothes, we will see a big difference. So the problem is very big with these dictionaries. Now the other cases we will describe with shorter time, because we won't not make this video very long, but it's only an idea. Durchprobieren. They said to try one after the other. But Duden says that the meaning is alles vorhandene oder eine größere Menge. To try, testing respectively all what is available or the largest quantity of one cereal category. So here Duden says all, alles, but this is not in the definition to try one after the other. Yeah or yes, to try one after the other respectively, but it's not all the translation. The most important is all. Why? Why all? Because durch is through something. When you go through something, you go through each piece of it, each part of it. So durch is the second phase of all. So they must say all, and they must say all this definition. Duden gives us this example. Alle sollten durchprobieren. Trying all sorts or foods. All. There is all. This is very important. All, to let him knows that there is comprehension. There is durch. So this all very important to know the precise meaning, and at the same time to make relation between the meaning and the verb. Because when you see durch and remember that through something, every part of something, all the part of something, all pieces, so you remember all. So, and try all, so durchprobieren. There is a relation, so you can learn it by heart easily. The last translation is bad, because what does it mean, try one after the other? Maybe I try one after the other from from many sorts, from many things, from many trials, but here you know that it's from one sort, for example. And here you will see the picture. You will throw the old meaning and get the new meaning, and this is the picture. I test, I try all the sorts, all, one after the other, but all, respectively, but all. This is Jewish. Do we accept this old translation now? Duden says the meaning of approbieren. This is in Deutsch and this is in English. To approve or license, this is the meaning. And mostly this meaning comes with, mostly with official or governmental. Like when you say approbierte Arzt, licensed doctor. But this is good translation from Duden. But Duden did not give you the relation between the meaning and the verb to let you learn by heart easier. So I made this translation instead of Duden, better than Duden. It's not against Duden. No, Duden is the origin, but it makes the matter easier and more beautiful. My translation for approbieren, he tried it, found it qualified, so license it. So he licensed it when? After tried it and found it qualified. So there is relation now. Probieren, tried it. Up, license. This is easier and has more benefits. This is, we throw it. This is the more precise meaning. This is Duden, licensed, and this is licensed doctor. Herumprobieren. Do we accept guesswork only? This is the translation von Duden. Nacheinander Verschiedenes ausprobieren. Notice the translation in Duden, to try. The translation from me, but I translate what is in Duden. I mean, to try many trials, one after one. To try many trials, one after one. So this is good translation but not very beautiful. Here you notice ausprobieren. It means herumprobieren includes ausprobieren with details, with more details, with complementary. So now Duden gives us an example. Hat so lange an dem Schloss herumprobiert, bis es auf hätte. Auf hatte. He was trying to open the lock for so long until he has opened it. So, when you see the translation of Duden with the example of Duden, you can conclude with another better conclusion. To try rationally. Why rationally? Because ausprobieren. Aus means rational. This is in another video. Maybe we expand the description. Several times. Why several times? Here, many trials, okay, respectively, okay, nacheinander, alles gut. Everything is good. But where's the relation between the meaning and the verb? Probieren, to try, good. But herum, you know that when we use it in German language, when we say, for example, when we say around the corner, for example, around. So when makes around, it draws a circle or a part of circle. So here a circle, and here means here. So the complete meaning, he tries and tries in a circle way, because he tries many trials. So he returns back to try again, returns back to try again, so on. So because he returns back, because returning back like a circle, and here to mention that many trials, he returns back to the beginning, to here. He goes and turns back to here. So this is the relation. Try, but returning back to the beginning point. So this is the new translation. He repeats the trials, but at the same subject. But when he say only guesswork, it's not so clear, and there is no relation with herum. But now you know the relation, you can learn it by heart easier. So this problem now the problem that we talked about at the beginning of this video. This problem, how we solved it. Now the new meanings is or are these: unprobieren, to try a thing by facing. This is not only for trying clothes on. This is general for many meanings, but trying by facing. This is trying something above something because of. This, as we said before, like this, very precise meanings. So now, after you know the previous, when a German man says ich probiere, will you know the meaning of ich? I? Yes. Immediately. Will you delay knowing the meaning of probiere until you hear all the statement, all these lines? Or now you are happy, you are not afraid, you can know the meaning of probiere immediately. This is immediately I. This is immediately try. Why? Because we discovered the sameness of meanings of suffixes. All of the previous was a kind of trying. Probieren. All of those are probieren. All of those trying. But here is trying with this way, with the way of an, with the way of facing. Here, trying with the way of auf, with the way of above, and like this, etc. But all we made a translation with a try, to make always a relation. So, with this way, with this only way in the world, you can translate immediately I try. Immediately. But you ask now, if I can say try, here, what the benefit, what the job of the suffixes? If I say try, and now here is aus, or auf, or an, what the job of these suffixes? The job is to describe the manner, only the manner. I try, but in the way of an. I try, but in the way of auf. So immediately I say, I translate, I try. when I reach here, I know if I try it vertically or I try it horizontally. If I try it, then license. If I try it, then repeat the trial. If I try it like this. So here I know only the details. I know only the manner, how to let this verb runs. How? Only. So now, for the first time in the world in teaching German language, we change the mechanism of understanding for the learner. For the first time in the world, now the learner can understand the German speaker exactly as the native German speaker. So here there's 2 points. You must understand with the German way of understanding to be real German man. But it doesn't mean that you must translate that to another people with the same way that you understand. For example, you understand I try, and when you reach here and find up, you add the complementary to the translation, and it will be I tried and found it qualified, so I license. So this is how you must understand it, like the native German speaker. But then you can translate it like this for the English people who don't know German language and are not interested in knowing or in learning this language, but they want to know the translation simply. So you can translate in this way, or you can say I license. You can. So you can say that and you can say that, but you must understand it with this German way. Now we change the mechanism of your thinking and learning, so you can be better in writing, talking, translating, etc. At the end of this video, you can find us at Facebook in this name, Firas or Firas Al Moneer, at like the beginning of the video, or you find the link of the course that you can buy to learn more and more of the secrets of this language, You can find the link under this video if you watch this video on YouTube. If you don't watch this video on YouTube, then you watch it inside the course itself, that you can buy it. And when more people buy this course, the more videos that will I make about the secrets, about the keys of dominating this beautiful German language. And now, good luck.